In today's video, we are going to be looking at the reason why Tottenham Hotspur will finish the season strong. Let's get right into it. Tottenham Hotspur has suffered the most injuries out of any team in Europe this season. They have a whole starting 11 of injury players, and beyond that, they've missed the most player to game ratio out of any other team in Europe this season, and the injuries has definitely played a factor in how much Tottenham Hotspur has struggled this season. If you just look at the list right now, they missed the players with the likes of Christian Romero, Mickey van de Ven, Radu Dragusin, Destiny Udogie, Ben Davis, Rodrigo Bentancur, James Maddison, Brennan Johnson, Dom Solanke, Timo Werner, Wilson Odebear, Baccario. Heung-min Son was also injured for a period of time as well. They've missed plenty and plenty of players due to injury. It has been ridiculous for Tottenham Hotspur this season in terms of injuries. Also, don't forget about Richarlison as well. He's missed plenty of games this season, the injury as well as last season. So Tottenham Hotspur has been decimated by injuries, and it has played a big part into why they have struggled to really get some momentum and get some wins this season. I'd even argue the fact that if Tottenham Hotspur had even half of these players available, they would have picked up at least a couple more wins, bare minimum. Now this also goes into the fact that Tottenham Hotspur absolutely fumbled the summer transfer window. They did not make enough signings to cope with the amount of games that they were going to play this season. Mind you, they only signed the likes of Dom Solanke, Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray, and Wilson Odebear. Only one of those players is over the age of 20. The rest are a bunch of teenagers or kids. So Tottenham Hotspur, aka Daniel Levy, did not do the correct preparation needed to be able to allow Tottenham Hotspur to push on the season and cope with the amount of games that they would be playing this season. It was very, very clear this season that Tottenham Hotspur needed a backup for Mickey van de Ven and a backup left back for Destiny Udogie and probably a backup right back for Pedro Porro. Granted, they did get some insane luck with finding Jed Spence. His revolution has been insane. Talk about a player that took the heat, adjusted, and has become probably one of Tottenham Hotspur's best players so far in this stretch that they've had these injuries. So regardless, Tottenham Hotspur did not do the preparations needed to cope with the amount of games that they would be playing this season. They did not address the defensive issues and the numbers that they needed in the offseason. This of course led to the overdeployment of Christian Romero and Mickey van de Ven, which they inevitably picked up injuries, as well as the overdeployment of Destiny Udogie, who also picked up an injury as well and was missed a plentiful of games this season. And the cause of that was having to play Radu Dragusin and Ben Davies as center backs for an extended period of time without any proper rotation or cover. And the result of that resulted in Ben Davis also picking up an injury, which ended up forcing midfielder or fullback Archie Gray into the center back position, which he has done a spectacular job for an 18-year-old playing out of position. Fantastic job he has done. However, because an 18-year-old was playing at center back, which is a midfielder, this led to Tottenham Hotspur not having the proper defensive line to cope with other teams' tactics and attacks, which then led to Ange Postecoglou changing his systems and his tactics. And of course, over an extended period of time, Radu Dragusin then ended up picking up a season-ending injury, an ACL-destroying injury, which sees him out for the remainder of the season and well into next season as well. So, coming full circle, now one of the reasons why I believe Tottenham Hotspur can finish the season very strong is that the cavalry is coming. Tottenham Hotspur are set to get the likes of Brennan Johnson, Gugamel Vicario, James Maddison, Destiny Udogie, and Wilson Odebear, all set to return for the upcoming clash against Manchester United. This is huge, as that's damn near half a team coming back in support for Tottenham Hotspur. That is huge. Now there is still some mystery around what's happened to Van de Ven and Romero. Some Spurs fans saying that Romero has abandoned ship and he's not playing because he does not want to get injured and he's going to randomly show up and be healthy for the international window when Argentina plays. As Mickey van de Ven, no one knows what's happened to him either. People are saying that he got taken hostage or that he's being held at gunpoint. I'm being sarcastic, but obviously no one knows what's going on with these two players. Regardless, I think this is huge for Tottenham Hotspur, as they'll give the current players that have been overplayed like crazy to have some rest, i.e. the likes of Heung-min Son, Dan Kulusevski, Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, those type of players who have been overworked like crazy. Add Pedro Porro in there as well. I think he's played the most minutes out of any fullback in the Premier League this season, or Europe, might I add. So it'll be crucial for Tottenham Hotspur to get these players back so they can have a proper rest. It's just up to Ange Postecoglou to manage these players correctly, as you don't want to risk them of a re-injury, as some of these players have been out for an extended period of time. So I mean, already this lineup looks a lot better for Tottenham Hotspur, and you actually have a proper bench of quality players. Granted, there are still a lot of players missing for Tottenham Hotspur, but this already looks like a much better squad. I decided to put Odegaard to start over Son just because Son has been clearly overworked and he's been underperforming like crazy. I was hesitant to take Kulusevski off as well because he's kind of like in the same scenario, but I think Kulusevski is still just so crucial to Tottenham Hotspur that Ange is probably going to keep overplaying him, which I don't agree with. You know, it is what it is, but already this team looks way more deadly, and with the likes of Dominic Solanke coming back as well, makes that forward line a lot more threatening and scary. And also Timo Werner is going to be back soon too, so add him to that and then you actually have options. Granted, I don't think Timo Werner is going to do much, but still, it's looking a lot better. But there's still that weakness in defense that Tottenham Hotspur still has to deal with, as Romero and Van de Ven are still missing. Another reason why I believe that Tottenham Hotspur can finish the season strong is that the out-of-form players will have time to rest and recover and get back to their best. The out-of-form players, and I think for most of Spurs fans, we can all collectively agree, have been Heung-min Son, Dan Kulusevski, and Pedro Porro. These three players have been in horrible form of late, and it's just been bad because we rely on these players a lot to provide that offensive threat. And yes, Pedro Porro too, as he was banging goals like crazy last season and getting plenty of assists. Whereas this season, it's not looking like that so much as more, but we rely heavily on Son and Kulusevski specifically. And if you watch these two players with your own eyes, you can clearly see that they are drained, battered, and they need a rest. So with the players coming back, these players can now get some more rest, not have to play every single game, hopefully, barring any more injuries, knock on wood, and they can get back to their best. If we compare Heung-min Son from this season to last season, you can see that Heung-min Son thrived under playing one game a week. And as Son is getting older, I don't think he has the legs and the energy to play every single game. I think Son is most effectively used when he's playing one game a week. And if you apply that to the likes of Kulusevski, yes, Kulusevski has immense stamina and he's able to run until the last whistle blows, but he's still human and he cannot play forever. I think he's played some of the most minutes out of any player on this team, either him or Pedro Porro. So with that being said, we really need to look at resting Dan Kulusevski as he is being overworked and overplayed. And I believe once he gets that rest, he'll be able to get back to his absolute best. And I believe the same thing is true for Pedro Porro as well. When Pedro Porro is in form, has amount of energy, he is a threat offensively. Whereas of late, we haven't been able to see that due to the injuries and how much he's been playing. So I believe once he gets the proper rest, being able to recover, I think we'll see the best of Pedro Porro as well. The third reason why I believe Tottenham Hotspur can finish the season strong is for the likes of the new signing. Yes, I'm talking about Mathys Tel, Kevin Danso, and Antonin Kinski. I think all these three signings will play a huge part in helping Tottenham Hotspur push on and finish the season strong, especially the likes of Mathys Tel and Kevin Danso. Kinski has played relatively okay. He's had to step in right away and has been asked to do a lot, more than we could ever ask, honestly, for a new signing. With that being said, he has had his struggles, and I do believe that Vicario is still Tottenham Hotspur's number one. Even though Kinski has the ball-playing ability, I think it's clear to everyone that the shot stopping is nowhere near the level of Vicario. If we look at Mathys Tel, he undoubtedly has looked like Tottenham's best attacker since he's come to Spurs. He actually looks to get forward, he looks to drill past his man, he's been a lot more effective, and he bagged a goal in the game against Aston Villa in the FA Cup. By far, Mathys Tel is going to be crucial to Tottenham Hotspur being able to push on. He can play across the forward front three, he can play striker, left winger, right winger, whatever he needs to do, he can play it. And this allows for more rest to be given to the likes of Son, Solanke, Johnson, Odegaard, Werner, even Kulusevski if he decides to play up there. There's plenty of options Tottenham Hotspur now has in attack with the likes of Mathys Tel up there. And of course, Kevin Danso, a strong, tough center back who's good on the ball. Passing ability depends who you ask, but he's a good, confident defender. In my opinion, an upgrade on Radu Dragusin. I think it's very clear that Kevin Danso is a good fit for Tottenham Hotspur, and he has played really well on the games that he's played for Tottenham Hotspur so far. So overall, if you look at it, I think that these new signings will help Tottenham Hotspur being able to finish the season strong and give them another added boost or relief in terms of numbers, energy, skill. I think it'll help them immensely to have these players in and competing with the other players that they already have. The final reason why I believe Tottenham Hotspur can finish the season strong is the strength of schedule. Positively and negatively, Tottenham Hotspur are out of both the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. While this sucks that Tottenham Hotspur are out of both cups, this could also be a benefit towards them finishing strong in the league and both help them in the Europa League as well. If you look at Spurs in the first 10 games of the season, you can clearly see that they were in 7th spot in the Premier League. While the win-loss record doesn't look too hot, they were still in a pretty decent position, granted further performances. And then if you look at Tottenham Hotspur from match week 10 all the way till current day, you can see that they're pretty much in relegation form, damn near close. And this is largely due to the fact of what I stated previously, the injuries, but also another big factor is the scheduling. Tottenham Hotspur have been playing minimum 2 games a week for God knows how long. This is the first week in a long time where they've only had to play 1 game a week. So with the fixture list easing up, I think it's more likely to assume that Tottenham Hotspur will do a lot better with the less games that they have to play, as well as the number of players coming back from injury. If we look at the remaining fixtures for Tottenham Hotspur, there are still some very tough games in there. Look at the likes of Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool away, Aston Villa, Brighton, they are a team that Tottenham Hotspur do tend to struggle with, and of course Nottingham Forest, which for some reason I have to throw them in there now because they're having an insane season. So it's still a tough fixture, but as I stated before, they will get players back and they will be playing less games, hopefully maximum maybe 2 games a week, so it will look up for Tottenham Hotspur. Now to bring it all full circle, Spurs have a really tough schedule left. However, they have players coming back from injury, they have the ability to rotate now, and they have less games to play. Ange Postecoglou has not been able to apply his tactics to the way that he wanted to, as the injuries have hampered that. But now with players coming back, I do believe that Tottenham Hotspur will be able to get to their full potential, and there is no more excuses. Simple enough, the team got to lock in. They simply have to lock in. They have the Europa League left. That's their last chance at winning a trophy this season. I know, trophies and Tottenham Hotspur, that's crazy, but that is their last chance. As Ange says,
and usually win things, I always win things in my second year.
The Carabao Cup is no more. The FA Cup is no more. The last chance is the Europa League. So Ange and the Tottenham board have a huge decision to make. Do they prioritize the league and try to get into Europe through that way, or do they prioritize the Europa League and try to get into Europe that way as well? As if you win the Europa League, you're guaranteed Champions League. And with the amount of teams remaining in the Europa League and the strength of schedule potentially in that, Tottenham Hotspur are still one of the favorites to do really well in that tournament. So with that all being said, coming full circle, I will give my final prediction. I believe that Tottenham Hotspur will break the curse and finally get that trophy in the Europa League and finish 7th in the Premier League. Psych! Hell no, that ain't happening, bro. If I'm being realistic as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, I think that Tottenham Hotspur will probably finish maybe in the semi-finals of the Europa League and then have like an embarrassing crash or some shit like that. And in the Premier League, I think we're done and dusted. I think we get maximum like maybe 8th spot. 7th is a shout, but I don't think we get that far. I think it's gonna be maximum like 8th. So pretty much the season is wraps, and yeah. Oh man, I'm just keeping it realistic, man. I have lost almost all faith in this team. I wanted to stay on the Ange train as long as I can. While I'm still Ange in, I have to see what he does for the rest of the season. Let's see how he takes the team, how far he gets us. And hey, if you always win things in your second season, then show it. But if not, he probably gets a sack, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depends how we're feeling, I guess, on the day. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. We're almost at 100 subscribers, on the road to 100. Gotta start somewhere, right? So yeah, make sure to comment down below what you think of this video and let me know what you guys think. Will Tottenham Hotspur make Europe? Will they win the Europa League? How high can they finish in the Premier League? Let me know down below, guys, and make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Peace.